Evening all, welcome to Elite. Look at this, a little bit of sped up footage. Shipstorm has found the most amazing system ever. I'm not kidding, it's actually very good. There's, for some reason, and it's all credit goes to him, and no one comes here, but it's a fantastic ratting system, and basically it is a wonderful representation of Wings, which we're going to talk about today. Hello Wings, it's Wings 1.2. Which sounds like a kind of tribute band for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, this is an interesting kind of time for Elite, because now they are realizing that this is a game that people want to play in a group, in a gang, with compadres. And that's obviously something that's very cool. And we gave it a bloody good testing. And we found it very, very pleasing indeed. Now let's just go through the mechanics. I'm sure many of you are aware of this, but this is just a snippet, a soupçon of some of the mechanics while we casually fly towards our extraction site. You form up gangs and then you slave your drives to each other. Now, one of the things we found was quite useful was if there's like 5 of you, you put yourself in a conga chain. So number 1, 2 slaves to number 1, 3 to number 2, 4 to number 3, and so on. And that what that then means is that you then all are effectively in a big kind of conga line. It's beautiful because when one player starts to then warp away, it automatically will then warp you as well. It's glorious flying in warp, because if one of you is interdicted, then all of you drop out and they have a very bad time. And it's really nice. I've got to admit, I am blown away by how good this is. It is a wonderful example of fantastic development being done, I think, with care and I think interest of the product as well, because they haven't made it ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? I think really the game is just wonderful at the moment, and it is a thoroughly enjoyable romp. The communications in game as well, if you don't use them, you should just try them out, because they put some lovely sound effects on them that just make it sound like Apollo 19 landing or whatever, and it just works. It just bloody works, and I really can't say how awesome this game is. It's just getting better and better, and I think new ships, there's 2 new ships in, the Vulture and the Fer de Lance. That's how you pronounce it, not the Fer de Lance, it's the Fer de Lance. There you go. And just generally, I think this game is coming together beautifully indeed. The fun thing I would say about running in a gang as well was we both get a share of the income, so both Shipstorm and I are getting money here. Josh was in as well, but he had to drop for many reasons. But we found that by having 3 people, there was certainly an escalation of what came into the sites as well. By the way, this is the most beautiful extraction site you'll ever see. Keep watching. Seriously, keep watching. And we found that things were flying in wings. Quite a lot of things was. And I think it may come down to the fact that if you've got, say, 4 or 5 of you in a wing, then wings to the size of 4 or 5 will also fly in. I could be wrong on that. I think you can do 5, right? I don't know. Anyway, we haven't tried that yet. Just a quick message on that. We do have a little modest TeamSpeak. If you are looking to play in our private group, then hit me up. Send me a message on YouTube. I don't even know how you do that, but I'm sure it's very easy if you're clever. And just hit us up. We do have a TeamSpeak. We don't play that often. I think we're playing 2 to 3 times a week. So if you're a more casual player, then we're probably looking for you. And I'm pointing my finger at the camera right now that isn't there. Anyway, so I think the game is certainly a wonderfully fun game played in a group. I believe you can do all the various things that that a gang would do. So you can run escort for a trade mission, for example. So you can get trade dividends, which is obviously very nice as well. We need to investigate that. But I mean, just look at the quality of the stuff. I mean, look, with Chipstorm and I were just in 2 Cobras, I believe. And we were finding like pythons, anacondas, things like that. Plenty of things to shoot that's got quite a big cash reward. I would say resource extraction sites are better than nav points personally, because they do seem to give a higher throughput rate of wanted things. There's always wanted people around, which is awesome. Whereas nav points, you kind of got to faff about looking for someone. Plus, you always have Navy vessels on your side. in resource extraction points, which is flippin' lovely. But I think, yeah, it was just gorgeous. I think the fact that you have this kind of link with a gang, so, you know, when Shipstorm starts attacking someone, he will mark his target in purple because it shows hostile to the wing, but not to me. So therefore, it's very easy to follow who your current target, wingman's target is. I'm told as well there is a button you can press that targets automatically what your wingman has targeted. So that's lovely jubbly. I got to say that I think this is an amazing step forward. It is just such a wonderful idea. I love the idea of expanded and larger fleets. Maybe that would be quite nice. I think, you know, this is obviously just to test the premise. I can imagine you'll be up to 20 ships very soon, which will just be amazing. I think that will be flippin' lovely. We're testing what we can. Obviously, there's only a few of us playing at the moment, so you know, come on down, play with us. Yes, that was sad and needy, but I'm going to be sad and needy because I actually really enjoyed Wings. The thing about it, the game's been single player for so long now. It's nice to see that the game is pushing towards a more, you know, kind of a gang-based approach. And I think you can just do anything as well. You can rat like we're doing now. But you could also go and trade. You could go and explore together and things like that. I mean, it is nice. I really am impressed with how kind of clever the game has got. And the combat is still crisp and beautiful. It's lovely. The guns maybe need a bit of reworking. And let me just give you a thesis upon this as we shoot this rather angry python. Oh, okay, not too bad. Not a very good reward, but not bad. And split between two. So always remember that. That is definitely a good thing. So I think the problem is necessarily with the weapons is only really multi-cannons are very good. Everything else seems a bit poo. I ran cannons for a while, and cannons just look like something out of Battlestar Galactica, you know, when the main guns fire. They do look amazing, and they do a fair bit of damage, but no, not really. They're not as good as multi-cannons. Pulse lasers and beam lasers, etc. They certainly look good and they certainly sound good, but the reality is they're not good. They don't seem to have the punch on the wallop. Look at the sun. Look at the sun. Look at the sun through the rings. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, this is what space is all about. As I kept saying about 20 times to Shipstorm on this op alone. Oh my God, Eve doesn't do this. Oh my God. And I know I'm not bashing Eve at all, but I think it was an interesting point to think that you could fly to the rings of a planet and then fight within them. That's pretty Chronicles of Riddick-esque or whatever. That's, yeah, it felt a little bit like Star Wars when he's chasing Boba Fett or Jango Fett or whoever through the asteroid belt. That was, you know, that was kind of in my back of my mind as we were doing it. I was thinking, God, this is good. This is really, really good. So I think generally, yeah, the game is coming on. I mean, in my own personal little journey is coming to interesting times as well, because I now have traded and grinded enough for a Type 7. So I have a Type 7, I have a fully fit Viper, and I have a fully fit Cobra, which I'm in now. I love the Cobra. The Cobra to me is still the best ship in the game. It's not particularly, well, it's not the hardest ship, but it just feels the most fun. It's cheap as well, so if I lose this, it costs very little. It's like 120k, I think, or something like that. Mostly B modules, mostly B, few A's, power distributor, jump drive, things like that, just for getting about. But it is just such a lovely, lovely game. Now, my ultimate goal is still the Clipper. I really do want that Imperial Clipper. I'm told it's very slow and kind of clumbersome, if that's a word. I hope not, because I really do want to fly. I really want to fly that ship. The Python, I think, will ultimately be where we go. I think the Python is supposedly quite a combat vessel. But there we go. So, you know, I think the reality is that the game is just coming on in leaps and bounds, and it is very, very fun indeed. And I think if you are looking for that kind of game that gives you complete freedom to go off and do whatever, and see sites like that, look at that planet. I mean, that's astonishing. A ring, seeing a ring from a planetary ring, that is gorgeous. And I've got to admit that it took my breath away how good this game is getting. And it's making me even think of things like Oculus Rift, or even the new Steam one, the Steam OS one, whatever it's called, the Steam VR. That looks pretty interesting as well. I think, you know, when there is one version of VR which is finished and actually released properly, I'm tempted with it. My God, I'm tempted with it. But for now, I'm tempted more so with 4K. I'd love to play this game in 4K. So post in the comments if you play this game in 4K. What monitor do you have? What graphics card do you have? How did you create such a wizardry? These are the things we must know. So post in the comments, tell me if you are, because I'm firstly going to be incredibly jealous of you, because I would love to play this game in 4K. And also just tell me how you did it. I'd be very interested. I think it's a funny thing that this game has become such a kind of, I don't know, it's not a passion, I would say, because it's more than that. It's almost something that you can pick up and drop. That's something that I always got a bit frustrated in other games, that you couldn't really do that. Whereas in this, you can just literally decide that you're not going to play for a week, and then you come back, and there's no kind of problems with that. You can't really do that in a lot of games. I think if you look at kind of things like Eve, if you're okay, you could do that in Empire, but you can't do that in an alliance. You can't do that in a grouping of players necessarily, and I think that's kind of a shame. But I mean, look at that sun. Oh my goodness, that is gorgeous. And look how close it is to the sun. Flipping out, you think the sun would have burnt these rings off. Oh, that's Shipstorm, by the way. Do you like his onion head skin? That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? I've got to admit, I really am just impressed so far. Hopefully you're getting that. And again, I've probably said I'm impressed like a million flipping times. But yeah, there we go. So in terms of credits, what did we earn from these I guess, foray into the resource extraction sites? I know that we earned, in about an hour, I would say it was easily 250,000 credits, which was conservative, because I think we did, you know, sometimes we did end up maybe missing other kills from each other and things like that. So that's something to bear in mind. But I mean, it was probably the most fun I've had in a long time. You have to do this. If you're just a trader, you're missing a third of the game. If you're just an explorer, the same. So, you know, you should always do all three things. Explore. And that's one thing we haven't done yet. I'm actually just saving up for a fully kitted out ASP. And once I've got my fully kitted out ASP, we're going to go into the wilds and name a few planets, CEO Pyrex. And that's the plan. That's it. That's what we're going to do. I hope there's some left for me. I'm sure there will be, but I really do hope there are some left. And I think this is it. You know, we've done the trading bit. I'm relatively middle of the road in trading now. I'm trying to get my combat rank up now, so I'm still only competent. It would be nice to be deadly or whatever the next one is. But I think this is kind of the fun of the game. It's a very enjoyable range of things that you can go and do. And I think, honestly, just going and exploring was wonderful. Let me tell you one of the experiences that I found just coming here, because we were based in Igal, and this system is actually in the Federation, so it's a long way away, 100 plus light years. Light seconds, light years. And what it is, I fit a Cobra with a A-class jump drive and then the best fuel scoop I could. And I found it absolutely just wonderful, jumping to a star and then full drive throttling around the star to then angle at the next planet, jumping, then full drive slingshotting again. It was like, you know, literally I was like a Klingon bird of prey, and I was being slingshot with Commander Kirk telling me to go left and, you know, engage all captain engines. I don't know, but it just felt good, and it felt really good that we were, you know, doing something that just felt, I don't know, special. And slingshotting suns to pick up fuel to go and jump. Oh, lovely. And that's what you're going to have to do, obviously, when you go in exploration, is that there's no stations to dock at. You're going to have to pretty much be reliant on on getting fuel from suns. So, you know, I loved it. I was just blown away by how much fun it was. So there we go. Wings definitely gets a thumbs up. Is there anything negative or bad about it? No. Josh had a really interesting bug hit him. He had a bug which basically meant that he sold his ship without any warning. It just, you know, he went to click store the ship and get into a Cobra, and it sold his Type 7, so he lost, you know, about 5 million, I think it was. Because remember, when you sell, and this is just a public service announcement, never sell a fully fitted ship to the market. Strip it with crap gear and put crap gear on it and then sell the ship. Otherwise you lose a lot of money. And he did this, and he was pretty pissed off, and he thought, well, that's me done in Elite for a while because I've lost all my money. And what he did is he just raised a petition effectively through the system, and within 24 hours he had a GM talking to him, and the GM basically apologized and said, what do I need to do to make this right? And he went through all the logs, and a remuneration payment was made, and it was fixed. And that's pretty good, and I think for a new company, a new game, to have really good on the ball customer service was very enjoyable as well. So GG to Frontier. I think generally this game is coming along leaps and bounds. If you're not playing it, then what are you doing? Come play. And remember, we have a team speak and we have a small group. Come join us. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.